Okay, I've got my finger over the mic. I'm going to show you guys a couple things. It's not as windy around here, even though there's a lot of wind above me. This is the corner of the house here. The stove is in here. Here's me propane bottle for the stove. There's the stove line. Looks pretty nice in here. You know, a couple of borers. Have a lot of borer troubles with this. But, you know, some of that, like, that's as good as when it was put on there back in the, well, sometime before World War II, possibly even the 1800s. However, all of these palings inside here are nailed to this absolute fucking crap. Now, why I've done this here, cut these open, is because I'm going to get rid of this badly knackered, busted up old bit of fiberglass, this little strip of sheet metal, and this one here, and put all those, you can see them right there, leftover weatherboards here. So the rightio, what we're going to do is we're going to probably put another beam in this corner, and I've gone out, I've found I've got a bit of 3-inch wood that should fit in here without a problem. It's in fairly straight condition. But you see, these were all nailed into, I don't know what exactly. There's a nail there that goes into what? Maybe this, maybe the weatherboards, because these are, hang on, what are these ones? Now these would be the internal palings. It's got really huge internal palings just against the back of where the stove is there, and that entire wall that the stove's backed against and the kitchen table's backed against. Massive palings, but I see a bit of expansion foam that I've sort of put through initially through the crack before I put this bit of timber here. And there's a piece here and another piece here. It's basically like a skirting board that runs up the corner to hide all the dirty ass big holes that I was trying to hide with expansion foam, but thought I could probably do a bit better. You think, okay, well, rightio. So that's nailed into, these internal ones are nailed into, yeah, this rotten rubbish, which is supposed to be out here, and as you can see, for the most part, literally an inch of this stuff has rotted away. I'm not joking. Literally an inch of this beam is rotted. People sit there saying you should do it up to your former glory. Well, to do that, it'd be a virtual rebuild, because this holds all the inside ones. This here holds the weatherboards, like those ones right there. So I've got to basically pull out this with every weatherboard attached to it inside the veranda here. If I want to replace this one beam, you've got to rip all the weatherboards out. Now, in even trying to pull that out, you will split all the ends of these old weatherboards, because some of these old weatherboards, there ain't much left in them either. That's just shocking. Hey, just eating away to jack shit with a fuck all. That's like about a 1/4 inch thick. I'm not joking. Look at that next to me bloody thumb. It's just, there's nothing of it, you know. This place has been unmaintained to extreme degree in the 20 years nobody lived in it. In that time, with the help of borers and wood rot, not only do you have borers all through otherwise perfect wood, you have plenty of water that's come down in here, and everything's turned to shit. So if you just replace that beam, you're going to have to replace all these weatherboards, because I'm pretty certain, well, the internal palings are into this one. So you get rid of this, you change the internal palings in the process. You get rid of this one here, you've got to change all the weatherboards that side. And by the time you change all these large rotten beams, you're going to have replaced every single internal lining and all the external cladding. And you know what? You might as well just go on and build another fucking house, because you've just basically stripped down the house to nothing, replaced the frame, and then replaced all the cladding. So you've basically built a new house. Now, instead of still trying to attach it to maybe some half alright, half knackered stuff on foundations that don't work, because, trust me, these are some of the only legitimate foundations in the whole fucking place, are the ones that he's obviously used to jack this up. Instead of trim this, I'll trim this off too. This is fucking hanging out here somewhere. Instead of cut it off so it doesn't get affected by water, he left everything hanging over, and there's a lot of beams that, you know, had been replaced. And believe it or not, it's not actually that impossible, because I've replaced these on my sister's house, on my brother-in-law's house. We used about 4 car jacks, and you can manage to jack up some of the floor. What you do is you put like another beam here, and then put car jacks on it and lift it all up. Pull this one out, put a new one back in, and then let all this down again. And it's actually surprising how well it actually works. But, you know, that's one of the few that may work. But let's face it, like, the building from that corner down that other end to the opposite corner through there where my bedroom is, there's more than a bloody foot height difference in a tiny little 4-room cottage. You know, by the time you fuck around trying to fix some of this stuff, it is materials that you could have wasted, or that you have wasted, that should have been used on a new house altogether. That's why I don't bother fixing up stuff that is so far gone that by the time you finish replacing everything, you've basically built another house. So why not just go ahead and build a bloody brand new house and have 0 old beams, 0 second-hand beams, all new foundations, and you're not going to have these, you know, doors that don't want to align and close properly and all this other bullshit. So, minus the fucking borers too, that are slowly eating the place to death. Yeah. I think the only thing I could do is get this out, which in fact, aside from these little bits down here, going rotten, higher up, this is actually quite a good beam still. And that's just got to come out the way to keep it, the weatherboards level, to go right across there. But I'm going to have to leave these rotten ones in. I'm going to put an extra one down here, but I'm going to have to leave this rotten shit in after all that. Oh, by the way, the bloody paint I put on 5 years ago is all coming off as well. Look, some of these are only held on with one nail, look. The joint's a fucking joke, honestly. This is why I'm not fixing the place up on a permanent basis. I'm just duct taping this heap of crap together just to keep it running another 10 years, hopefully no, not even 15 years before I can start getting serious about another place. And I tell you what, the next place, oh, it'd be lovely. No, I'm sick of fucking wood. I'm sick to death of dealing with wood going rotten, having weather damage. It's gonna be either brick or friggin' concrete, because I've had enough. The only thing might be wooden floors on strip foundations, and that, you know, we might be getting somewhere then. But the outside walls and the roof and all the framing, it's all going to be steel, concrete, brick, because I'm sick to death of this shit. I'm sick to death of just seeing a place that you know, doesn't matter what you do, it's either wood rot's getting at, it's things that are impossible to replace, it's borers, it's paint the bastard for the paint to fail 5 years later. You know, it's just, it comes a level of bullshit where you don't bother. It just becomes a black hole, a financial black hole. And you walk in here and say, yeah, I'm already in a black hole. Not much light in here, is there? But, you know, it is what it is. It's my house for now. But this is the thing, you know, you got to you got to plan for the future, you know, and so we got to start planning for the future.